find out. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the GH Spotlight and Recap. I'm James Lott Jr. Frank Moran is here. Frank Moran.
Hey, everybody. We're here for another Sunday of good times and shady goodness.
Shady goodness, that's right. We'd like to thank everybody who, half of you like us, half of you don't, but you seem to tune in and watch or listen. It's my number one program on this network, so I will take it. Thank you.
We'll take those hate watchers. Absolutely.
Like the hate watchers, exactly. Because some of the storylines, I'm hate watching them too. Okay. Also, just get this guys know, earlier today, we did the Y&R and Bold and Beautiful mini spotlight recaps. Those are out. They're out there everywhere. Go have fun. Listen to our shadiness on those shows. Vision Days is on right now on Vision Days channel. You can talk to them over there. And my interview with Sean Kanan is out still. Go check that out. We do talk about AJ Quartermain a little bit. So check that out if you so choose to do so. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Everybody's coming in. It's your loss. Sean Kane's the bomb. Everybody's coming in. Lori C. Rodelli, Michelle DeRose, Mick, Port Misery. Hey, Port Misery. Eileen Kopik, you're here to join us. Yes. Elusive Poet says, Frank, there's a love watcher here, not a hate watcher.
Hello.
That's DG. Hello, you guys. So come on in. The water's fine. We're going to talk about what happened in Port Chuck this last week. Why watch if you don't love? Because it's fun that way. Oh no, Tony Gallups, everybody. Okay, so we will get right into it. I'm gonna go through some of the storylines that I'm not a fan of. First,
is there anything you are a fan of?
A few. There are a few things I do like. Okay, I'm gonna say this to you, Frank. Overall, I see what they're trying to do, I think, as a writer myself, producer myself of shows. I know how sometimes things sound good on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I know how sometimes you want to shake things up and try stuff. And I feel like in some of the storylines, I think it sounded good. And now they have to play it out. I'm trying to be polite about that. Because writing a soap is not easy. I write a lot of stuff, so I get points for that. But I feel like there's some storylines, like one we're about to talk about right now, I think they're trying to play it out a certain way to make it sound like something. Okay. Let's talk about the fallout with Sonny and Nina, which includes Jason and Carly, which includes the hilarious Ava. Oh my God, that conversation between Ava and Nina made me laugh the whole time. I have quotes and everything. But I'll start with you, Frank, at the beginning. So how they're playing this, Frank, it seems Jason and Carly were in love with each other and about to do the dirty deed. And so now it's equal, I guess. You have Sonny, Mike, and Nina, Jason and Carly. Is that how? Is that? I think it's like that's where they're going with this. Frank's already sighing already. So good night, everybody. See you next time. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they've done so many things with Sonny and Carly in terms of breaking them up, bringing them back together. That, I mean, I guess the writers were like, hey, if we're going to try to do something like that, we got to really come up with something different to make that happen. I mean, I feel like it's going to be mostly Sonny that would probably make this all happen, because it seems like it's his, I don't know, reluctance or denial or refusing to at least admit that there was something going on with Nina to anybody else. Because it's like every conversation that he has with like Jason or Carly, it's like, and you can just turn that off, because it's like, I feel like it's just Sonny saying like, I can't turn this off. I hate this woman, but I also love this woman. So I can't do what you guys can do. So I feel like if all this stuff this spirals out of control, it is because of Sonny's inability to just be honest with Carly and saying, whoops, I also fell in love with Nina. So yikes.
Well, he is upset And he found out. I mean, I thought it was. I mean, they didn't drag it out. He said, Jason, what was going on? I just love the way Jason was kind of getting there, kind of like, well, it was our wedding night.
Yeah.
It's like I started laughing. I was like, oh my goodness, it's so funny. Well, you did walk in on our wedding night. I mean, like, okay, Sonny. So Sonny was kind of like, okay. But they're playing it where he's a little, and then when he asked Carly, and she kind of talked about it, he's having a hard time with this. Meanwhile, not mentioning him and Nina. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if he didn't have the Nina component to it, I mean, he still might be, bummed to find out about the Carly and Jason thing, but I feel like his anger might not be as intense about all of that. It's just, I feel like it's Sonny's own inability to kind of sort out his own feelings.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right on that. It's funny because hello everybody, come on in. It's also because Sonny likes to be in control. We know that. We got to see him back in his office with his chair. So Jason set the chair in storage and then put it back out. That chair does not look comfortable. This does not look comfortable.
It doesn't. No, that's true.
Not at all. Not at all. So I've said this, like, why am I stuttering all of a sudden? Let me just stick by my conviction. I'm not a Charlie fan. I like them as friends, as best friends. I like the fact that she's the woman he puts above anybody other women. I like that part. I don't like them together as a loving sexual couple. Not at all.
I agree. And I also think that's a tough dynamic. I mean, I feel like you're really blowing up the Sonny, Jason, Carly kind of friendship.
Yes.
You're blowing that up forever. Because I think that's a tough thing to walk back if all of a sudden Jason and Carly get back together. I don't think you could ever put the three of them together in this current situation again.
No. And they kind of mentioned that a little bit about the friendship. It's like it's us. See, Jason is more pragmatic, obviously. So I get where he's just kind of like, well, you came back, and here you go. Yeah. And it's like, so I see how he's very much like, it's this way. Where Carly, she's one who's conflicted. She's happy to have Sonny back, obviously. If I liked Charlie, I think it would hit me differently. Right now, I'm just watching it play out, just waiting to see what's going to happen. But I'm not invested in Charlie. I mean, I know some folks like Charlie, so right. Lucretia liked Charlie, so I mean, good for you guys. I'm just not invested in them.
Would have more time in that if they had spent more time kind of trying to build up Jason and Carly? Do you think that might have changed your mind?
No, because I don't think they have chemistry. I think they have friendship chemistry. They've done for 30 years. They have pushed them as friends. Yes, they slept together years ago. But I'm just like that. I feel like they. Well, he said it. Well, as soon as you slept with Carly, Sonny, we dropped. You stopped, and became friends. I mean, Jason literally said what I was thinking this whole time. Like, well, you guys got together. We stopped sleeping together. We became friends, best friends, and that was it. So I was kind of like, oh, see, Jason's even saying it kind of. Like that this happened out of thinking you were dead. They get together and some feelings were brought up. That to me is almost I can go with. But in the end, I don't think they should be together. I think they're best friends. And I also like the idea of a male and female friendship, where it's just like they are really close and almost unhealthily close. Why not? That's kind of fun too. Why not? That's I can handle that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I agree with you on all that. I guess it also just comes into like kind of bleeding a little bit into the Carly and Britt scene. Just to touch on one aspect of that is which Carly has said many times to many women that have been in Jason's life is that she's it's a package deal. She comes with it. A relationship with Jason, and they got to be cool with that. And so, I really do like the Carly and Jason friendship, but when it also just seems to sour at least part of every relationship that Jason has outside of that. It's just like, all right, okay.
Well, you know what's going on. To me, it's very similar to, I'm going to do another TV show reference. Reminds me of Will and Grace. Will and Grace, there's always the joke that when you date Will, you date Grace. You date Grace, you date Will. That was always their thing with any of their significant others. So I actually feel like that's Jason and Carly. So when you date Jason, you just know Carly's going to be right there, somewhere in the wings, there. So I kind of like that. Now people are mentioning so you mentioned the Britt scene, the Britt and let's get what was the word she used? Let's get something honest.
Radical honesty.
Yes, there you go.
Yes.
But see, here's the thing. I like this Britt saying, "I'm not second place." I like that she's standing her ground.
Agreed.
I think if they continue to do that, that would be great. I think they ruined Jason and Britt when they got him with Carly. They ruined it. There was something there, and they ruined it.
Which is disappointing because I don't know. It seemed like we were excited about that, and I would think a lot of other fans were excited about that. Yeah, it'd been like the first time that I was like jazzed to see any kind of like possible romantic relationship scenes with Jason in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And for that to just, the show does have a knack for teasing potential pairings that you're excited about and then just cutting them at the legs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The problem is if Britt goes back with Jason, she looks like a chump.
Yeah.
They did it. They wrote it. Don't get mad at me, folks out there. I didn't write it. I didn't write the shit. I'm just telling you what they did. They wrote it. And so now it's kind of like if she gets back with him, because they lied to her, first of all, and all this stuff, it still doesn't make any, it's still bad. It's still bad. It's like he will still drop you for Carly. That's the point. And now they're playing this Carly Jason attraction thing. She won't be involved in all that. I mean, why get it? Oh no. It's just so weird because I liked them together. They were a cute potential couple. I just feel now it's a bad. I'm not a woman, folks. I'm a guy, clearly, but I think it's a bad message to send to women. Oh, if he does that and you say, oh, it's a lie, we did because of this, whatever. I think it's a bad message to send to women to take your man back. That's doesn't look good. Now, Jason and Britt becoming friends, possibly. Okay, then that's fine because she went to him for the Liesel thing. Yeah, and Jason, of course, Jason cares for Britt, but the point is, he lied to her. He didn't fill her in on. He didn't say, "I have to do this because of."
Yeah,
and he said, again, I'm going from the writing, not me, my personal opinion. The writing is making it seem like he started to fall for Carly again too. So what does that mean to Britt? So I'm just saying, folks, I didn't write this. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, what they're actually saying on screen. It's like they're making it seem like he was falling for Carly too. So then where was his feelings for Britt? Okay, there you go. So it's just very wishy-washy. And so on Britt's end, that's not a good look for her.
No, I agree. And the sad thing, though, is that I feel like it makes it tough to make Jason a viable romantic lead because it's always this Carly thing, which is a nice facet of the Carly and Jason relationship, but it always just makes it tough for any other kind of romantic relationship for Jason because that's just always
there looming.
It's a constant theme with Elizabeth, with Sam, Britt now. Like it's always just Carly, and so how are you going to pair him with anybody else? Like the Britt was the first time in a long time you had somebody that was like we were like jazzed about this coupling, yes, and yes, the Carly thing existed then as well, but they crossed. You're right. I agree. They once he did that, it just. Yes. It soured it. And like, now what do you do with Jason? Like, don't you want him to be in a relationship as well? No?
Right. I'm going to address something in the chat room. Britt and Jason are no Luke and Laura. There are no Luke and Laura, folks. So you can't even compare the two. I'm sorry. Well, you can. You're right to compare the two. There's no comparison. So I'm just going to say that out loud. Elusive Poet, I do agree. Britt has chemistry with a lot of people. And yes, So I see. Here's the thing, Frank. You're so right about Jason as a romantic lead. Debbie Stewart says to you. Now people are starting to bring up in here. You can have feelings for two people. Yes, that is true. On soaps, that's very possible. You have feelings for two people. But I'm talking about what kind of talking about is like actual relationship. What looks good, what doesn't. And so for a chick to date Jason, they have to have it. Just yeah. What happened to Britt was wrong. I think it was just wrong. I think what he did with Britt was they totally duped Britt, and they didn't have to. They could have told her. I think they could have told her. She comes from a crazy father. She could have held a secret. She wouldn't have said anything. But that's just me. But I don't know. But in the end, Luke and Laura did stay together. You're gonna go that direction. He went with Tracy, and Laura went with Kevin. So they did end up breaking up in the end. They were not end game, as many thought. You're gonna go that direction. I know my JH history also. And Britt said she knew it was American. Yeah, Britt had ideas. Remember, she had an idea something was going on with them, that it wasn't close. But again, it goes back to they're playing it as if Jason fell parts in love with Carly, not friendship love. They start having feelings for her. That to me is it just still doesn't give Britt somebody else. Why does it have to be Jason? Give me anybody. You're somebody else. Give me Jason. It doesn't have to be him. There's other men around her age that can do that. But anyway, so I'm saying that the way they're playing it, but see, then they're also playing, folks. Let's get off of this for a second. Now we got the Nina, Sonny, Mike thing. I laughed so hard. I gotta read these. It's the right way. When Ava came in, at first she's trying to play it off like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, Nina, come on, Nina. What are you talking about? When she said, when you found Shangri-La in Whoville, that made me laugh. Carly doesn't know you were getting it on in Hicksville. She called it every other name on earth. Every time she said it's made me laugh. So now Ava and Nina are very truthful to each other. And I love that they are. But Ava's kind of like, maybe you have a chance with them still. You have a chance with him still. Which I almost think so too, because Sonny hasn't gone off on Nina like he should. He's been very tame. He really had that talk. We're gonna set the rules or whatever, that talk. And she was so sarcastic. It made me laugh, actually. I was like, oh my God. At least Nina is starting to have a little bit of a backbone, even though she is in the wrong, folks. I totally get it, she's in the wrong. But I kind of like she has a little backbone. Kind of like she does a little bit.
And there was, a weird undercurrent of flirting through that scene, where you're just like, all right.
Yes. It's crazy. It's cuckoo crazy. It's cuckoo crazy, Frank. I'm kind of liking it. I'm kind of in it. I'm kind of totally in it. Because, okay, well, first of all, we have to mention before we get to that part that Phyllis went to Nina finally, and they met up. And it's a little cold. Phyllis is she's still trying to process. She did lose everything, basically, because of Nina, so to speak. So she's kind of holding back a little bit, which I kind of like that. She's kind of holding back, but she gave her back the watch.
Yeah. Well, it already sets that where you see Nina, where Nina sees Priscilla, or Phyllis and Ava. Where Phyllis, it's like, all right, hold my calls so I can, not be interrupted while I talk to Phyllis. And for Ava, it's like, I'm on the phone. Can you come back? Can you come back later?
I was like, Nina, you're too much. But Phyllis is very subdued. She hasn't gone off on her really, but she had that watch. Didn't give it to Mike. She gave it to her to give to him, and she did.
Easy to find watch.
Easy to find. It was broken. The front was broken, but got that watch
hanging out of that fishing hole,
and gave it back to him, to Sonny, and Sonny got all sentimental all of a sudden, and they're having a regular conversation.
And he reserves the right to change the rules anytime he wants. So,
anytime he wants.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how she was like, oh, okay. I mean, like, it's the way they're writing it. As I said, I'm seeing what they're trying to do, and I just know I'm very excited when Carly finds out It's all about Carly. You know that. It's all about Carly. I mean, it's all about Sonny. It's all about Carly. When she finds out the extent of their relationship, all hell is going to break loose. It's going to break loose.
Yeah. The bummer about it is that for forever how much you were supposed to buy that Nina and Sonny / Mike fell in love, when I feel like the majority of the scenes that we saw with them was Nina, at least, for the majority of those scenes, was constantly worried that the secret was going to be exposed. Somebody was going to walk in, he was going to see something, and she was always fretting and panicking. And so we never really got to see them just being together. Because like that scene where you described where, she's flirting and she's kind of standing up to Sonny, I would have liked to have seen that version of Nina in Nixon Falls, just being a strong confident woman instead of constantly kind of worrying that the secret was going to be out, because it made it hard for me to buy that these two were going to falling in love. So I mean, maybe now we get to see that version, because this version of Nina I'd rather see than any of the versions I saw in Nixon Falls. She'd be excruciating to watch.
I agree. Monique Abraham, I'm going to answer your question. What would Sonny say about his feelings to Carly about Nina? It was Mike that fell for her, not Sonny. Here it is. This is, again, the writing, not me, it's the writing. They're writing it as if he still has, the Mike is integrated within him. So they're writing it as if he remembers everything. So he has feelings for Nina. Even though it's not Sonny, it's Mike, it's still him, apparently. That's how they're playing it. So he should come clean to Carly and say, I was as Mike, I didn't know she's a blonde. I saw her, we became friends. I had feelings for her. And Carly's gonna blow up. At least she hears it from him. And he can say, I didn't plan this, obviously. I mean, I had amnesia. I didn't plan this. That's what he should say to Carly. I think that's it. That's to answer your question. What was worse, Nina keeping Mike from Sonny, knowing Mike was Sonny, keeping him from his family, or Liz knowing Drew was Jason? They're both bad. They both are bad. You answer your own question. They're both the same. They're both the same. There's no worse. They're both the same. And remember, Liz got flack for it, for doing that, and cast it out. But I think with the Sonny thing, they're writing it, not me. They're writing it as his feelings are integrated with the other feelings, so he remembers everything. I think that's why he hasn't gone off on Nina the way Sonny would normally do. Because let me give you two words: Claudia Zakara. When he thought it was stupid, he went off publicly. It was a whole stage thing. He went off and brought her down. Nina, he's not doing that. He's just not. And he's keeping it a secret, so to speak. He's not saying anything. I mean, I think that means something. I'm sorry, folks. They're writing it this way. I'm going with what they're writing. So I mean, and the cowboy has the cowboy hat. When Cam walked out, that cowboy hat, I was like, oh geez, it is a new Moss, Annie. It's a new Moss. That cowboy hat.
When do you think that Sonny ever puts on that cowboy hat again?
Yeah.
Do you think he does?
No.
There's got to be a scene where he just has to say,
look at it or something.
Just puts it on and says, "Giddy up," and then heads over to Nina's place and little smoochy.
I mean, the thing is, yeah, we did the Brenda too. Thank you, Dave. So that's another one. Anyways, I'm saying that Sonny is being very subdued. So I think that's the Mike part of him that's just not going full throttle at her. He walks in, you should leave town. Yeah, okay. And I mean, she was like, yeah, okay, I'm not leaving town, whatever. I mean, Carly's the one who went at Josh went on her, off of her more than that. I mean, like, it's like he's very subdued. He's very subdued. So I just think there's something going on. There's something going on there. It's going to come out. They're timing it. So right now it's the whole Sonny, just the Carly Jason thing. Then at some point that's going to come out. And I think it might be Sonny letting that out by accident. So something's going to happen.
Well, I'd be curious about that, because certainly now that Ava is put it together, I mean, that's always, she can let it slip.
That's true too.
If she gets ticked off at Carly for some reason.
That's true too.
So I feel like there's going to be probably a few other people that are going to start piecing that together. Because I feel like it's always worse when Carly hears it from somebody else other than Sonny, that's going to make it a
Yes,
bazillion times worse.
that's true. Now I have to say this, folks, and you can all hate me. I don't care. I can hear everybody going to tell me what they think, whatever. I actually am starting to feel I kind of see chemistry between Sonny and Nina. I kind of see it. It's cuckoo crazy. I'm kind of seeing it because it's so messed up. I mean, the whole thing is so messed up. It's just so messed up. I'm saying I'm using good words today, not bad ones. It's just so messed up that I'm kind of rooting for them, kind of.
Yeah, the one thing that'd be interesting is to see. We're already kind of playing at the aspects of Sonny's residual feelings for Nina through the Mike persona, but also it's been name checked a lot and mentioned, but to see how it affects the business side of Sonny. And I'm waiting to see, is it him wanting to to distance himself from that side of the business, to kind of reclaim some of that simplicity of life that he really loved in Nixon Falls, and how that affects everything too. So yeah, I feel like Nina can offer both of those to him. And is that something that's going to be like a incredibly compelling lure to Sonny?
The chat was actually agreeing with me. They're not yelling at me. So far, they're agreeing with me.
Look at you.
I'm scared. I'm scared of that. I'm scared. I'm not used to this. I don't say Frank. I'm stuttering. I think now that they're out of Nixon Falls, I kind of see it. Now that they're here and back, it's like, I don't know. I kind of see it. So you guys see it too.
Because I guess the thing is, you don't have to write Nina as constantly terrified.
Right.
And when you take that away, you can actually write her as just like, a confident, somebody who's got feelings, kind of well-rounded woman character that is much more enjoyable to watch in a scene with Sonny when she doesn't have to operate about any secrets coming out.
That's true. That's funny because you're right. Because I mean, they were kind of flirting with each other a little bit. I'm like, what did she like? Nina was kind of getting all like, okay, looking at him. He looking at her. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We can't also forget two scenes. One, Jax and Carly talked.
Yeah,
they talked. It was pleasant. It was actually pleasant.
It's like, just Carly, just back off, Carl. Just tone it down a few times.
Yes, I mean, because Jax brought him home basically. I mean, that was the thing. He brought him home.
Not without Carly first going off. Did you know? Did you know?
And that's like, no. And the thing is, Jax was, he had nothing to do with it. He just, he happened to stumble upon it, and that's what happened. But he did push her to do it. But anyway, he brought him home basically. And he's like, I owe you one, Jax. Okay, sure. So they'll never be friends. I don't want them to be friends. That's fine. I'm glad there's like a little truce there going on, because it's like there's nothing. He didn't do anything to Sonny. He didn't do anything.
No, I did like the conversation between him and Jax. It was interesting to have those two characters have a scene where it's not just them, being angry at each other about something, that they could just, they're just talking about their points of view and about what happened at Nixon Falls, and there's no accusations being thrown around. It's like, all right, I enjoyed this kind of version of that scene.
Everyone, this shirt is from actually General Hospital. Frank Valentini gave us some shirts about 4 or 5 years ago for our anniversaries. He gave us several shirts, and this is one of them. So I didn't buy it. I didn't purchase it. You can go to jh.com or whatever and see if they sell these, and I'm not sure. This is one they gave us.
Well, you wear it when you go play for the softball team, right?
Oh God! Don't be with the softball team.
Yeah, you and Dante
don't do it to me. Don't do it to me, Frank. Don't do it to me. We're not talking about them yet either. That's going to be next or something.
One other thing I want to mention about just the Britt and Carly thing for a second is, in their moment of radical honesty, the positions were reversed. There's no way that Carly would be cool with her coming in second to any other woman.
No, of course not.
For a man. So for her to be like, Britt, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm not going anywhere, Britt. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just telling you, I'm not going nowhere. I'm paraphrasing.
Why would I be great with that? No, I'm not going to be cool with it.
Carly was like, "Yeah, bitch, I'm head bitch, and you're second bitch, and that's it. That's all she's like. It's accepted." And Britt's like, "No, bitch, I'm not accepting that. Bye." No, I choose to exit stage left. What she was saying, Jesus. But then he had Olivia, Bulldog Olivia was like, well, why aren't you going after her? Why you think you're gonna let her stay Crimson stay there and let her do it? I'm just like egging her on, like, and Carter's like, Olivia, you're like, your hands are tied. Basically was like, my hands are tied. She's not going after her like that.
Yeah, just being that little devil. I mean, it was like, to be that devil on Carly's shoulder, but then also just to show how Olivia is just kind of oblivious to Leo's behavior. Like,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Like, well, then we had Ava and Carly talk about that, and actually, because they've been getting along, They've been getting along great, actually, this whole time period. And it's supposed to visit Avery's custody, which I think they have talked about now because Sonny's alive. And Ava says something at the end that made Carly think his experiences are still with him, like yours are with you. And she's like,
That's
all right, go on, Ava.
But not before Carly immediately jumps down her throat. Did you know? Didn't need to tell you? Did you know that Sonny was really my... Okay. All right. Enough, Carly. Jeez.
Yes.
But I feel like that's just an opportunity for Ava. Ava is certainly, I guess, a better person than she was pre-Kiki's death.
Yeah.
But I still, I feel like there's that little part of her when she all of a sudden pieced that little together that, oh, wait, Nina really fell in love with Sonny. I could just talk to Carly and just kind of twist the knife just a little bit, just because I can. Why not? Let's just do it. So it's like, all right, go for it.
And Joss and Carly had a talk. That's right. I'll get our girl McCoy is growing right up. She's been really good recently. I think everybody agrees. She's been really, really good. To me, this teen scene, which we'll get into soon, I like it. I mean, I'm actually liking it. I'm like, wow, I like it better than the adults. I like their storyline better.
It's a shame because I am liking more of like Trina and Joss. They're writing them as smart women.
Yes, they are totally
smart young women.
Yes, totally.
Yes, but like Cameron, that guy's such a dope. He's such a dope.
But Frank, we're dumb. You know that. When we're young men, we don't know brains. No brains whatsoever. Why are you surprised?
Esme just comes batting her eyes, and he's like, "Oh, well, okay, all right, sure."
Yes, because men are dumb. Women are smarter than we are. You know that. Were you smart 18 years old, Frank? I wasn't.
Of course, I
was led around 18. Yeah, sure, Frank. Are you smart now, Frank? I mean, I don't know about like back then.
A woman wouldn't even talk to me when I was 18. So what would I know?
I'd love to see a Frank at 18 years old. Oh,
it's
you guys like me at 18 with me.
It's a huge pile of disappointment wrapped up in like weird Hawaiian shorts.
Hawaiian shorts. Oh my God, Hawaiian shorts. Yeah, I can't. I mean, when I met you were fully formed, so I don't know what you were before that. So I don't know.
I like I am now, not great. So, I'm just more not great now.
I just know that when I was 18 years old, I was like, whatever you tell me, I was like, okay, sure, I'm quite pretty, okay. I mean, but seriously, chicks, they mature faster, and that's why I love that they're playing them so. They're smarter than a PCPD. They're smart. They figure anything out. It's like, hello. And then you got Cameron just like, I want to be friends with everybody, and what's going on? And I mean, it's like he's working at Kelly's, he's going to school, got a girlfriend, whatever. Esme is just batting her eyes and talking in a higher voice, and he's like, he's in. He's in.
It is interesting. You would think maybe, I don't know. I mean, I guess it tells you like how much the show's invested in Joss, Cam, and Trina being students at PCU. Is that Joss and Trina live together? But can we build a dorm room set for them? No,
I know.
No, they're constantly back at Sonny's place. So I'm like, all right.
I know. Where's the set? No, but I think everybody agrees this teen scene has been really good actually. It does spill over to some of the adult stuff. which leads us into the whole Spencer fallout. So, I'm really impressed. I'm getting more and more impressed with Nicholas Alexander Chavez, who plays Spencer. His stuff versus Ava Mora West has been really good. He has held his own with the Queen. I call it the Queen. I like the scene when he was just like, when she came to the police station, he was like, no, bitch. Nope. Nope. I still feel sorry for you. He's ringing the same bell about the face thing, and he betrayed me because Valentine. Wait till y'all find out Valentine's a cast sign for real. That's a whole other story. But I just thought that I just think he holds his own against her, and he's so immature and stubborn that and he tries to throw her stuff in her face. She's like, I'm not the one sitting here in jail. I mean, that's right, girls. Not me this time. Not me. It's you. And I'm like, hello, it's not about me. He is doing. I think he's doing a great. He's spoiled. He is entitled. But deep down, he's probably a good guy if they gave him a chance. It's that whole Cassadine thing going on in there. I actually like it.
Yeah, it depends on how long this show's going to drag out. Spencer's grudge and his inability to get past the whole Ava, betraying him towards Valentine situation. Because it's like, yes, but that is not nearly as bad as your father, pretending to be dead for like 3 years and not telling you. Yet you're really hung up on the Ava Valentine thing, which ultimately didn't amount to anything. So, yeah, I don't know why Spencer is just, his heels are absolutely dug into that. And I don't know if he's like transferring his anger or his feelings about the whole situation with Nicholas towards, that Ava thing. It's an easier thing to just kind of, stake a claim on. It's like, oh no, she did this and I can just absolutely dig my heels in on this. So, but I feel like the show's gotta address that and try to work through it. Because nobody's calling out Spencer out like, yes, that happened one time, but you've got to learn how to like move past things. You've got to.
Well, I think you hit part of it on the head. Some people down here too in the chat room. He was always spoiled. He was always kind of coddled when he did something wrong. He was coddled, and there was no consequence for his stuff. So I think now I actually like that Ava had him arrested. Why not? He's gonna be in jail for a night. Okay. Esme being outraged was hilarious. Chase looked at her like, okay, whatever. Like those scenes were great. He was looking like, and Josh and Trina give the dirtiest looks to Esme. They're like, no, we got your number, bitch. We got your number. We are not letting you come through. She can't get through them. They're a brick wall. She just can't. And this is Cam was, and she turns to touch it. She always touches Cam like, I guess what's going on here. But Cam and Trina are like trying to let Spencer know, we're your friends. We still care about you. It's this Esme chick. There's something with her. And so when she tried to go off on Nicholas and Kevin, and they were like, and Nicholas like, and why should we have you arrested also? Things beside like that. She got quiet. Yeah, you're in over your head, girl. You are not. These are some grown folks. You don't know what these people are. Kevin doesn't budge an inch, and Nicholas was like, "Ooh, okay, girl. We know what you did too. You're in this also." Because Spencer gave her up.
No, what I liked is like there's just nods to. I think everybody's comparing Esme to like to Nell. So like when you're seeing like a Chase who's gone toe to toe against Janelle.
Janelle,
yes, is not going to be fazed by a young upstart like Esme.
No, not at all.
So
not at all.
Yeah, so like Kevin just like constantly just like, no, she's just selling you an emotional bill of goods.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're like, I love it. Kevin's just like, just to the point, like whatever. Side note, she got that little internship or whatever at the.
There we go.
Brian can't blink fast enough. He's going crazy. Can't blink fast enough. But the actress who's playing Esme is really good because you don't like her. You totally don't like her. She's a wild card. So we don't. So she's somebody who can go any direction. But it's been known you did something. That whole car thing. We know it. We all know it wasn't Nicholas. It wasn't Spencer. So and I love that. I know that Nicholas is standing behind Ava. He didn't get mad at her. He's standing behind her. But I also like this one part of the story that I do like also is that Alexis, when she had her talk with Nicholas, was kind of like, don't let him get into the Spencerine, Cassadine instincts. Like you have to figure out how to still help him. And same with Kevin said, I wrote it down. Punishment and enforced guidance. That's what it is. He said, you got to be careful with that. But it's okay. So somehow he has to find the line of being there for his son. But like Ava said, he's not sorry, not that sorry. He's sorry a little bit, but he's not that. He hates Ava. You said he's holding on to that so much. He's hold on. And so that's not learning anything. I mean, see, everybody's waiting for Grandma Laura to come back. Everybody in chat room talking about everybody's waiting for that to happen because when Grandma Laura, she's found out, I guess, or did Kevin say she's going to be hurt when she hears, or did he say he told her? I can't remember. He talked to her on the phone.
I think she's heard and she's disappointed.
Okay,
yes.
So wait till she gets back to town and there's a dressing down of Spencer. Woo!
Oh yes,
that's wish she ain't never met her. When she's done. Oh, she'll get the book and open it up and just read pages like that's it. It's gonna feel so small. Oh, it's gonna feel so small. And this Esme, she's gonna watch out too. Laura, nobody to play with either. Laura, she's been around the block a few times. Yeah, I'm real careful. Esme thinks she got it, but she don't. Yeah, Esme, she has to watch out. These folks are all looking at her like this bitch is crazy. They're all looking at her like she's a little cuckoo. And when her and Trina get into it, ooh, I'm like, Trina, better watch out, Trina. She may light your car on fire or something.
Yeah. Right now, Esme is still not thinking all the angles when she tries to pull something, so it ends up blowing up in her face. But I feel like the way the show goes, she's gonna find something that lands.
Yes.
And when that happens, it'll be curious to see what ripples that has.
Well, I laughed when she goes, I found this bus bench, this Baldwin guy. I think bus bench. That's so bad. That's like so cliche, right?
Like, I can't believe it. Scotty Baldwin. Do you think he's really? I think he seems to be well to do, but boy, I don't think Scotty Baldwin is doing bus benches.
I was so either. I was like, that's a little too comedic for me. I know he's kind of comedy relief a little bit too. That's a little too lowbrow, I think, to me. It's a little. Because even when Spencer goes, I'll call Spencer, and Cameron's, I'll call my grandfather, Scott Baldwin. Oh, he already laughed at us already. But that made me laugh, actually. Yeah. She called, he laughed at him. But I was like, he would have been a bus bench. That's a little too comedic for me, I think. They're doing that for fun. But either way, I'm glad he was brought up. They always could get Diane, I guess. Diane, he's part of the family, so I guess get Diane in there. But I don't know. I just think I like the fact that he is going to spend a night in jail. Good. Let him spend a night in jail for a second to see what happens. I'm curious to see how this plays out. Because they really did surprisingly let it all out. It's all out now. So the Esme chick is a wild card. What's going on? I'm very curious how this works out.
Well, to go back to that Nicholas Ava scene, to add on to just one bit I liked it within that whole scene was Nicholas saying, like, do I love it? No. But I understand why you did it. I'm there. I'll back you up on that. So it's like, I just love that. Just like, yeah, this is a couple talking about it. Like, you may not love what your partner's doing, but you're still going to support their play. That, and then the Nicholas Kevin stuff, man, they go back to that well where Nicholas is always like, you always try to shrink me when we talk. I'm like, I think Kevin could have, it's interesting they keep hitting that beat between Nicholas and Kevin. It's like, I think Kevin can have like a conversation as a human being, can he?
I think so too. I think that's their go-to. It just sounds, because I get this sometimes in my own personal life where someone will go, you sound very paternal when you talk. Sometimes. And yes, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather. I can't help it. I have a deep voice. Sometimes I say things, it sounds like I'm talking down to you like a dad. Like, no, I'm actually trying to talk like a regular person. Just like comes across that way. So I get it. I get that for him. He's a smart guy, but he has feelings. He knows, he has feelings. So it's fine. So it's kind of like it's like, do you actually like Kevin or do you guys not like him? Like, I feel like they go back and forth. Like, Nicholas appreciates Kevin, I guess, maybe, or maybe he doesn't. So it's always rough. You're like a shrink. You're always shrinking me. Like I don't get that at all. It's always mixed up to me.
And maybe part of that is also too that Nicholas was gone for 3 years.
Yeah,
and he kind of checked out really early in the Laura Kevin relationship. So, maybe if he'd been around, he'd have a different feeling.
Well, I got to say, the line of the week, one of the lines of the week, before she had him arrested, Ava said, and I quote, "I'm busy. If you come after me and my daughter ever again, there will be hell to pay. Hell like anything you've ever witnessed." I was like, that's right, bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. That's right. And I'm a side note on Britt and Carly when she was like, yeah, a situation. But yeah, what about Sam and Elizabeth? And she brought them up with the Jason thing. Mm-hmm. And Carly was like, accepting me is the price of admission. That's just accepting me as part of that. And she was like, coming in second does not work for me.
Yeah.
Right, bitch.
No, it's it wouldn't work for you, Carly. Why would you you think any other woman would be like, yeah, that coming in second works for me. Cool.
Now, second little thing we have to bring up a little bit. It's a small thing which they'll probably get into later. Sean's looking at Nicholas regarding the Hayden thing now, because it was revealed that he didn't shoot Hayden. Right? I thought we realized that it wasn't him. But now they're saying a Castline's involved somehow. I think Hayden's the other chick that's there at Greece. I think it's Hayden.
And it's interesting that hasn't been name checked, other than like when we heard her scream, but nobody's ever mentioned like, well, who else is here? Nobody mentions like, oh, there was a woman screaming here. I don't know what the deal is. And neither is like, if somebody's screaming, I would think maybe they might need medical attention. So Chloe didn't mention anything, and Obrecht doesn't mention anything.
No, that's so crazy. So I guess we'll lead into them, because now folks are meeting up in Greece. Greece is the word. Greece is the word. It's got groove. It's got meaning. So we got your favorite couple in the world. Looks like we walked in on something already. And so they kind of walked in. Deep.
It's just like a wet blanket comes in over, the storyline. It's just like somebody just is hanging like a boat anchor onto the scene, and you're just kind of watching it slowly just pull down the fun.
That's it. And that's what it is. It's just like, there they are, and Anna and Robert. So they all compared notes. So everybody's filled in. They all compare notes. Robert gets a phone call, and then I think it's Holly Sutton. That could be it too. Be one of those two. All right. Okay. So either way, everyone knows Drew's alive. They all know Drew's alive. They all know Richard Cassidy's alive now, because they let Dante and Sam know that he's alive. They all know that he's working with Peter, or was working with Peter. Well, that in a second. So we have that going on. They all know that Valentine is missing. So everybody's caught up to speed. I'll tell you some umbrella storyline, because now we need just Jason and Britt to get there, and Scott. They're the next ones. Right? They're all getting there. They're going to get there. And so right now we got Obrecht with Drew, and he didn't remember anything, but she filled him in on what possibly have happened. So now, at least they're kind of going fast. These part of stories, I'm liking this. I'm kind of liking this part. But they're actually talking about, they kind of moving that along. So now he knows that Peter got him to do something. And she totally explained it must be a higher level thing. And she's like, Faison meets Cassadine. That's scary, right? But Victor was not down for all this. This was not his plan. He was like, wait a minute. And obviously you see at the end of I think like coming at him. And then at that thing, I'm like, just show him getting grabbed. Why we got cut away?
I know.
That was just really weird. I know probably just trying to do something fun. So Valentine is hidden away there. Drew is in accommodations aren't the greatest. Some chicks next door. Liesel's being held somewhere too, and was trotted out to be a doctor. And now Victor has grabbed Peter. And now Valentine's like, I'll deal with these bitches that are outside here trying to get me. And I love having Robert, but having Robert is like, sweet potato pie. Having Robert show up is like a game hen to me. Just something nice and delicious that tastes good and makes you feel good after you eat it. There's some cranberry sauce, some eggnog. That's what Robert is to me. When I see Robert and Ann together, I'm like, all is right with the world, Frank.
I agree with you there. Well, I love that everybody's getting on the same page with the story in terms of Victor being alive. Victor and Peter working together. The thing that seemed, tough for me to buy though, was that the guy that with the Cassadine tattoo, the musician, gave all that up. Like, if you're working for Victor Cassadine, I can't imagine you feel that, oh, I can confess all this stuff and there won't be any blowback on me. Like, I'm sure, like, that guy's going to be dead, soon. Thanks for squealing about Victor's being alive. I mean, especially when Victor says, I've been operating here for years and nobody's noticed me. I've been under the radar, and you come along, Peter, and you blow up everything on me. So it's like, while I'm glad that it happened, it also seemed kind of weird that that guy just conveniently gave all that information up.
I don't know. For me, anything moves the story for along, I'll take it, Frank. I'm like, anything moves the story along. That little point, you're probably correct. I'm like, that little point, I'm like, I'll take it. Just because I'm like, can we get a little further along, please? I want to see some confrontations. I want to see some shakedown. I want to see some stuff. As you guys know, anything that can shorten the life of Peter would make me happy. That's just my crusade on the show. Every time he pops on screen, I literally hyperventilate. It's not fun. Karen Matheson. So let me tell you something, you guys. I was able to be the host of a thing called Christmas is Not Canceled, a celebrity virtual game night. It was me. I was the host. It was Jen Lilly, Cameron Matheson, who's hilarious. I got a chance to meet him. Debbie Montanopolis, Lacey Chabert, Cameron Bure, Ashley Williams, my new BFF, and two other male stars from Hallmark. We did a game night together. 500 people watched. It was a lot of fun on a Zoom. I got to host it. So speaking of that, go to christmasnotcanceled.com for that. Just for Toys for Tots.
And also, Cameron agreed to be a guest on the GH report, right?
I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to. I want Cameron on the show, but he's very funny and fun, and it was fun in the game. He was hilarious.
Was he still rocking the beard?
Yes, he's wearing the beard.
All right.
So that tells me they're usually 5 weeks in advance. So that tells me. Oh, and also, side notes, we avoided a strike. So you guys are new to this. We didn't strike. The IATSE is what they're called for the crew and everything. But the terms aren't the greatest I've heard so far. But they have avoided a strike tomorrow, so we're going to see what happens.
Yeah,
they're not good. They're not good.
No, I keep hearing people saying we shouldn't ratify this. So
you shouldn't. I know.
Yeah, which means that another strike could be looming in the future.
Yes, I agree. That's what I agree. So anyway, side note. Oh, you watched it, Pia? Yeah, you watched it. Yes, I was on there hosting, trying to. It's like herding cats, trying to get them all together. That's really. Oh yeah, we can't forget it. So okay, so that's all going on. So other than that, that's just all there. They're stuck there. We'll see what happens. I want to go back for a second. I forgot there's a little small scene between Nina and Sasha.
Yeah,
and they're on good terms. She goes, "You made a mistake. I totally understand." Sasha does understand. Sasha can't say anything. She understands.
No, I did like that. It's like, who might it be throwing stones? My glass house has got nary a window in it. So.
Totally. But I had to laugh. I think of Frank as I'm becoming good friends with the actress who plays Gladys, Bonnie Burrows. She's super nice. I laugh because Frank, I just think every time. So she came on screen and the baby's fine. Everything's fine with the baby so far. So I think baby's gonna come. I think they're gonna let it live. I think they're gonna let it live. Somebody haven't done anything to Sasha so far. But I love that Brando just takes no S from her. He just gets in on her and just does not care. And you see Sasha's just like, oh my God, my baby's daddy's mother. It's just too much. I just laugh every time. I just laugh.
I feel like the show, if they keep going to do this with Gladys, they'd be better served with, somebody giving her the medical diagnosis that she has no short-term memory, because she keeps just bringing the same things up
It's
every
Dora.
conversation. And it's just like, how many times are we going around talking about the same stupid thing?
Yes.
And it's just like, tell me that she's been diagnosed with that. So give me a reason why we have to have these conversations again and again, because I don't understand why we need to. These are the stupidest scenes. It's like, how many times can you have Brando saying no, 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 and then again the next time they were in a scene together, it's, well, maybe this time you can get a job now. Like, come on. It's just, I hate these scenes so much.
I know you do. That's why I laugh every time. Come on, more scenes for Frank.
Oh God. It's just, yes, and there's everybody's performing their hearts out on those scenes. Yes, but it's just, as a character, I do not understand why the show continues to write her like this. I just don't.
I don't know. It's a choice. Well, writers, why do you write her like this?
But yeah, but it's just like, you don't need to write her like, there's got to be, it's like, how many times are you going to bring up that same point to have somebody tell you why they're not doing it? And yet you're always going to be bringing it up, and they're always going to be saying no. And we got to go watch it again and again and again. Oh, get me off of it, please.
Yes, I know. It was only a small scene, so we can go on to the next thing. Oh, this one, okay. So another half of this of the week surrounded Austin Gatlin Holt.
Yeah,
I gotta say all of them. Dr. Gatlin Holt. Frank will be okay, folks. Don't worry about him. They're like, we hate when Frank's upset. Don't worry about Frank. Frank's fucking fine. Leave him alone. He's fine. Frank will be okay.
This is it. I'm done. This is it. This is my last GH report, everybody. See you later.
He's like, that's it. Frank's will be okay. Fine. Be fine. You always have Annie going. She's on your side.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. So Austin and Jason. There we go. The Stone Cold versus whatever Austin is. That is hilarious. I just thought it was funny. He's like, do you ever just stop talking? He's talking the whole time. I mean, Jason, that to me was just funny. It was just funny putting them together. Like, we're cousins. Jason started mentioning Cherry. He has a brother named Jonah. I'm like, oh, that's right. It's a brother. Mention that too. Oh, now it's a Frank fest. They're all loving Frank in the chat again. We already went through this last week. Let's go through it again.
Oh.
We have to go through it again. Like, really again. Everybody loves Frank.
Oh, boy. Well, this is difficult.
All 65 people in the chat room. I love it. But no, so they kind of came to some kind of like, I don't know what it was. It was an interesting talk. And then Jason left. And it was like, okay, it wasn't anything really bad. But he made it clear he's not into ELQ. He's into the family. Like, ELQ is something, which is that tracks. That's very him. He's not into ELQ. He's into the family. So, folks, that's what that is. That's what that is. But then we also had Brooklyn doing some hijinks, which I feel bad for Austin actually. Because like, he really didn't do anything. It's like, by telling Britt, and it's funny. They're playing Britt smart these days too. That's another thing I've noticed in her character. She's not dumb. Even with all that shenanigans with the nurses, she's like, you guys all. She's like, she just calls them out. You did it on purpose. I know you did it on purpose. You did it on purpose. Yes, y'all want Frank to be happy. I know I did it. But we can't make him happy. It's just how it works. They all want to make you happy all of a sudden. But I love that she called out Brooklyn. I know why you're doing this.
Yes.
Also, when you tell me this, I have to blame. Like, just like, there's no dumb stuff going on. She knows what's going on.
I loved all those scenes. Before I address that, one thing I want to go back and, I don't know if I name check this or give a shout out to it last week, maybe the week before, is the scene between Ned and Jason talking about family. As your
yes, that was it. Oh yeah, because you weren't on the week before. Yeah,
yes.
that was a great one. That's a great talk they had.
I thought that was a great scene between those two. It's two characters that we don't see, even though they're both Quartermains. We don't really see them having a scene just one-on-one, and so it was really nice.
I forgot you weren't here the week before for that.
Yes.
We talked about that. Yeah, so that's exactly. I love that scene between two. It was really, and plus they've both been around for a long time. It's the same actors, that kind of thing. So it all kind of it made for a nice. There was no animosity. They're just talking. They're just talking. Just two guys talking about the family. I did like that also.
That was great. So to go to this, it's yeah, I mean, Roger Howarth is great. So to see him in these scenes, and yeah, it's a different energy than Franco, which is great.
Very different.
Yes. So to be able to buy him as just a separate character, I'm curious to see how this all plays out. And it gets irritating with the Brooklyn stuff, because I think it's all wrapped up with her. Like I think like her and Spencer are similar in respect of where they're taking their feelings towards one thing and pointing it towards another. So much like Spencer's kind of however he's feeling about his dad and his dad lying to him about being dead for 3 years and kind of transferring that all to this thing with Ava. I feel like the same thing with Brooklyn and everything that's happened with lying to Valentine about the baby, kind of pulling a fast one with the ELQ stocks, perhaps even selling them off in the first place and screwing her dad and kind of creating the situation and transferring this all to Austin. And it's just like, if you took a second Brooklyn just to kind of, look inward, you'd realize how, foolish you're being at this moment. But
she had two things going on. So that's going on and she's getting him in trouble. But then Olivia overhears all this stuff and goes off on her.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. And Brooklyn's a very different Brooklyn. Very different. She's like, because she said to her, and I quote, she said this to her, I wrote this down. Oh, I know the Britt thing was like, don't play a player. I like that line too. Britt said, don't play a player. But Olivia goes, what is my son to you? It's like, ooh, that's kind of like, ooh. I said, I love the little boy. I mean, and then she changed, was like, maybe you should look to see if he gets help. Like, you're telling on him to get him to back down from that, but then also you are concerned, I guess. You also are concerned. So you're telling Olivia, maybe you should check into it. So it's like, well, then you believe what Austin said, though, but you're trying to use it. It's that weird Quartermain thinking, right? So it's like she says, it's like she said before, it always blows up in the end somehow. They always try something that blows up in the end. Like it feels like that's what's going on. It was like her whole demeanor, everything changed when Olivia went off on her. It was like questioning her. Like he goes, I'm tired of you Quartermains always using the business. It's always on the business. That's Olivia's biggest pet peeve this whole time.
Yeah, and especially when it affects Leo then. If you're just using him as just some kind of bargaining tool, whoa, baby.
Oh, it's just, Olivia was not happy about that. I was like, Carly and Leo was fun. Those were fun scenes.
And I got to mention that Ned would not be thrilled with Brooklyn's approach.
No, not at all. Not at all. He'll not be happy because he is also seeing something too. Yeah. And so, like Austin said, he never diagnosed him. That was the whole thing. He never diagnosed him. He suggested. We all saw it on screen. He suggested. So there you go. I just think it's very. But he also said when he told Jason, he's explained this. It's not just for the money and the shares. It's being accepted back from his father, for being cast aside. It's for just like I would be recognized as the Quartermain. And I kind of get it. It's not about the other stuff, so to speak. It's about that. But then when Britt let him go, suspension, I was like, oh.
Yeah, because even when Jason brought it, was like, so if you win, and at least Austin realizing like, even if I get lucky and I get these shares, I still know the family's not going to be like thrilled with me. It's not like they're going to open their arms up and welcome me back.
No, he knows that. He's not dumb. He knows that. But again, that's not what it's about. It's about this other thing. He wants to be friends with them, but they're Quartermains. They make everything difficult. He doesn't know that. He's learning that now. They make everything difficult. And so that tracks also. It's very much that tracks how they are. So that I just think but Brooklyn, it's just funny. I'll give Homegirl some credit because she has that stuff going on. Plus her and Max, had that cute scene together in the gym about being friends. That's good.
Oh, look at that. Probably my favorite part about that was then Austin calls her at the end and says he's going to come over and meet her to the gym. And she takes a second and then realizes like, ooh, this is not going to go.
He did. I was like, yeah, this won't be good. This won't be good. And of course, it wasn't good. And so he comes over there. But I like that. I like that they're becoming friends. That they are becoming reluctant friends because of this whole situation. I mean, it's kind of it's put them together. And he goes, "You never give me a compliment. You never do." He goes, "Well, there's a weird situation." And they kind of smiled at each other and chuckled. But that's cute. It was very natural. They were in this extraordinary situation. It makes sense. It doesn't make sense.
I'm just, amazed. Like Sonny runs these like they have to be like lost leaders for him. I mean, both his restaurant, there's never anybody dining in that place.
Nobody over there.
And at this gym, yeah, I guess there's supposed classes that people are going to. We never see those. But nobody's ever at that gym, the boxing bag that Jason's always easy, able to hop on so easily. Just like who else is like where we'll see the occasional name checks for classes, but that's it.
I know, that's true. Also, Brando and Sonny reunited. So they reunited. Yeah. Talked about family and stuff. They reunited. So that was nice. Make sure I catch that.
Yeah, and it is. I don't know. I mean, I guess the show keeps bringing it up to Brando, constantly like making him kind of explain, or like, is this Sasha? Is Sasha? Is this an ultimatum? She tell you have to do this? They always couch it in that way when it's brought up to Brando. So it's like, so it seems. Well, I mean, and I guess that's coming mostly from people that are already within the business.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I hope nothing happens to the baby. I hope the baby is born. Nothing happens to the baby, and it's fine. And we have conflict from whatever. But I might don't have her lose the baby because of Gladys or because of Brando or because of Son. I'm like, oh, don't do that.
Well, I mean, they certainly really hit just so many points about like, hey, let's take this tour so you know where everything's at, which makes me think like it's not going to go that easy. There's going to be something.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. I mean, it's. I don't know. But Brando, they are relatives. He's a Sonny relative. They get along fine. Sonny is appreciative of him. Him being in the business was not that far fetched.
Yeah,
it's not that far fetched.
And I'm curious. I mean, because I assume that the actress playing Sasha is going to need some maternity leave herself to deal with her real life pregnancy. So how Sasha will be written off for that time. So I feel like that will probably be the source of some sort of kind of conflict. Perhaps how she's going to be written off for her winter time.
Yeah.
But yeah, much like Michael and Willow, I think like with Brando and Sasha, you're waiting for like what's the conflict going to be in this relationship?
First of all, Frank, this was a Willow and Michael free week. I don't know why you had to bring them up in the conversation. So we're about to end the show shortly, and we almost got through an episode without mentioning their names.
No, you're right. I only really because I read something online where Chad was like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be some some drama coming up in the Michael and Willow relationship." And when they kind of explain a little bit what it might be, I was like, "This sounds dull already." So, boy, ugh.
And I just. I'm going to drag me into that conversation. Anyway, almost drag me into it, Frank. Almost drag me into it. No, we're not talking about that. Yes, so we'll see what happens. I mean, this week will be interesting to see what happens next with all these storylines. They're going ahead, folks. We'll see how fast or slow they go this week.
No, I feel like maybe the Grease stuff kind of fast forwarded a lot of stuff because it'd been like almost a week since we had really seen any action on it. Like from the shootout was like the last we saw. And they're like, why are you slow burning that? Like a whole week went by before we see like the follow up to the Drew shooting scene.
Well, folks are getting upset because there's no Liz. Where's Liz?
Liz and Finn. Watch that love burgeoning. Let's go camping again.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. I don't know. I'm some people am like, and I love Liz. I mean, actually, I love Liz and Finn, but I just hope that,
But for as much as I feel like what's happening is what I thought. Like Terry's like sharing that power. Chief of staff, and we rarely see her.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a shame. It's like let's give Terry her own storyline. But nah, I mean, again, there's so many characters and only so much time to go around.
Yes. Right now, 6 hours ago, Maurice Bernard's State of Mind, I'm looking right down here, had Cassandra James on it, who plays Terry.
Nice.
Today. So apparently he's on the show.
It's only a matter of time before James Lott Jr. shows up there.
I'm trying to work on it. Right now he's talking to the kid, right? He's talking to Max FCA's kid, not talking to me yet. He's talking to him right now. He said he liked something I said the other day. So I'm trying to get on there.
Yeah.
James Lott Jr. I want his audience.
If he's going to talk to Max, then yes, talk to you.
I know. I'm waiting. I'm trying. I'm trying to get on there. I'm trying to get on there.
Did you reach out to Max and tell him to put a good word in for you?
Be a good word in front of him. I should. I like tell his mom. Come on, Max. Your mom. Get me in there. Yes. So that's it. We talked for an hour. Almost an hour and a half. 68 people were watching. Thank you so much. I will do some shout outs like we usually do. Joe Costanzo, Tony Gallups, Texas Rangers fan. So I'm assuming that's hockey, I guess. I don't watch that stuff. Daisy Flower 40, Monique Abram, Dolores L, PEI Kelly Public Cover, Gabriella C, SF. Are you from San Francisco? Kimberly Howard, LaShawn Hurd, AA Junior 72, Mike Thomas. Get some names I don't know. What names get in there? Roller Skate Kate.
Best name still. Roller Skate Kate.
Roller Skate Kate. I love that name too.
Love it.
Your girl, Annie Going. Sorry, girl, what's your name? Annie Going. Girl. Lori Coyle. Joe Costanzo. I think I said already. A bunch of others. Nathan Banks. So thank you everybody for coming in here. And Rena Sheen. Thank you. Yeah, you got Molina Jean Lewis or Sean Luis, Lauren Ziegler, Marlon Wallace, my buddy Kathy Stewart. So thank you guys. I mean, this is just, again, we do the show. We'll be here next week. Does anybody know now, the weekend of Halloween, there will be no shows because I will be in Santa Rosa, California, marrying one of my best friends.
Congratulations on your marriage.
I know.
Look at you. Congrats.
Okay, I'm not getting married, people. I'm officiating.
Oh.
I don't believe in marriage for myself, so that will never happen. I've never been married. That will never happen. You can timestamp that.
You never know. What happens when you fall off a bridge and you get amnesia and you show up in some podunk Hickville town?
Fresno.
9 months, yeah. And all of a sudden, 9 months later, you come out of there married to somebody.
I was like, I have no plan. If I'm James here, then my other name will be, what was my father? My father's name was James. So I'll go by Jim. He goes by Jim.
Jim.
I'll show up somewhere in Fresno by Jim. I'm Jim, everybody. That got crazy. Yes. Oh, you're from Boston. Your name is hard to pronounce. Okay. I saw SF. I thought maybe it was SF. I don't know. For those of you guys who cared, Dodgers are going to the World Series. I don't watch baseball, so I'm like, that's fine, I guess. Oh, Rangers are a baseball team. See, I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. I don't watch baseball. So I guess folks like that they're going to the World Series, I guess, or something. Or I don't know.
Go Doyers.
Yes, I guess they play. Who they're playing against? I don't know who they're playing against. Somebody. Is Frank married? Does he have kids? Oh, we're asking your business. You've not watched the show? I'm like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Everybody, let's be honest. Nobody would marry this. Come on. Let's be cards on the table with that.
Somebody. And the cowboy hat. I'll wear a cowboy hat next time. That's what we'll do one day. We'll see how that works.
Please do a GH report with a cowboy hat on.
With a cowboy hat on. So why not? I'm trying to cover up this hair. So Frank, tell me they can find you. They want to stalk you.
Yeah, stalk me. Slide into those DMs. Do it. At Twitter and Instagram at Happy Go Jackie.
You can follow me. We're all James.Jr. sold at James.Jr. on all social media platforms. Thank you so much for watching our show. Baseball's dead cheap right now. It's funny. Because me and my kids, that's about my kids all the time. My grandkids, they all get my nerves, but I love them.